All right, readers, I want to talk about choosing text evidence to support a claim. Readers have to do this all the time. You come across a question that asks you for the best text evidence to prove a point. You've got a passage in front of you. Maybe it's 1,000 words, maybe it's a paragraph, but you have to support a claim using the best text evidence you can muster. Let's get to our main example for this video, which, let me just warn you up top, is a pretty spicy topic, okay? A real friendship ender. You ready? Deep breath. Here we go. Defining question of our time: is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable? It sounds silly, but this fully went to the Supreme Court of the United States in 1893. Nix versus Hedden was the name of the case. Some background. An 1883 law imposed heavy taxes on vegetables imported from other countries, but not fruit. Now, scientifically speaking, tomatoes are fruits. They grow out of a flower, and they've got seeds on the inside. This is the argument that John Nix brought to the court. If a tomato is a fruit, you can't tax it as a vegetable. Now, in his decision, Supreme Court Justice Horace Gray wrote, quote, "Botanically speaking, tomatoes are the fruit of a vine, just as are cucumbers, squashes, beans, and peas. But in the common language of the people, whether sellers or consumers of provisions, all these are vegetables which are grown in kitchen gardens, and which, whether eaten cooked or raw, are, like potatoes, carrots, parsnips, turnips, beets, cauliflower, cabbage, celery, and lettuce, usually served at dinner, in, with, or after the soup, fish, or meats, which constitute the principal part of the repast, and not, like fruits generally, as dessert." And what's a repast? It's an old-fashioned word for meal. So the principal part of a repast is the main course of a meal. Which evidence from this text best supports the court's claim that tomatoes are vegetables? And we'll just make it easy, pare it down to 3 choices. Which of these 3 best supports that claim that tomatoes equal vegetables? Pause the video here and discuss. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and we're back. Let's break down some of the evidence that Justice Gray uses. In this first one here, tomatoes are the fruit of a vine, just as are cucumbers, squashes, beans, and peas. That sounds like it's acknowledging the counter-argument. That's saying, okay, technically, tomatoes are botanically fruit. So while that may strengthen the overall argument, because then you can swerve back around and say, that's true, but there's this even stronger evidence, this evidence does not support the claim that tomatoes are vegetables. In fact, it says the opposite. So let's cross that out. Second one, in the common language of the people, these are vegetables. That's kind of a because I said so argument. What's the data that undergirds that? Which people? How many people? And does the fact that people believe a thing make it true? People saying these plants are vegetables doesn't really prove that they're vegetables, right? Nevertheless, this is stronger than tomatoes are fruit. I'd call this relevant evidence. It does provide some support for the claim, but is it the best evidence? Let's look at the last piece. Whether eaten cooked or raw, vegetables are usually served at dinner, and not, like fruits generally, as dessert. So this last one is all about that big list of vegetables, including tomatoes, that are served for dinner and not for dessert like a fruit would be. This is a cultural definition of a vegetable, a question of how the food item is used, which is even stronger than what the food item is called. I think this is our best evidence. People use tomatoes like vegetables when they eat them, so they're vegetables. Good job, option 3. You are the best. In your own writing, when you need to find supporting evidence for an argument that you're making, look for those strong examples that are directly linked to the claim you're making. Keep it as brief and as direct as you can. Claim: my sister picked up a package for me when I was out. Evidence: my doorbell camera captured her doing that. I have every confidence that you'll be able to find the best text evidence for your claims. And my evidence for that is you taking the time to learn with me today. You can learn anything. David out.